Hi, how are you? It's Matt here from Carwow. I've got a confession to make to you. I've only gone and got another bloody car. It was only a few weeks ago that I goes, look, here's my new Suzuki Jimny. And only a few weeks before that I went, hey, look, here's my new Mercedes A45 S. Now this, I think I've got a problem. I've now got 6 cars at my house. I've got this RS6, the A45 S, the Jimny, my Porsche 911 996, Fiat 126, and a supercharged Mazda MX-5. And if you want to find out more about all my car collection, just click on the pop-out banner up there to subscribe to my own personal YouTube channel, Matt Watson Cars. Today, I'm going to talk to you about this car in this video because I'm not sure if I've made a bit of a mistake with the specification. Now, more on that later. To make sure you don't make a mistake with your next car, make sure you go to Carwow because my team and I are there to help you choose the ideal car for you and get it for a fair price from one of our dealers. Anyway, let's get on with this.
Buying a new car? Then head to Carwow and my team will help you find your next car at a fair price. Carwow, your one-stop car buying comparison site.
I don't want to clickbait you with this video, so I'm going to come straight to the point. The reason why I think I might have made a mistake with this, it's the paint, it's the colour. I've gone for a green car. This green paint, known as Sonoma Green, is an extra £3,000 on the RS6. And when they delivered the car to me, I was like, oh no, what have I done? You see, this paint's quite unusual. Depending on what light you're in, it can be very, very different. When it's really bright and sunny like this, it's quite a light green, and light green cars aren't great. But when it's darker, it's like a really dark green. I mean, that seems totally sensible, doesn't it? But it really is a wider effect than I actually imagined. Look at the shot here, the colour of the car. Now look at the beauties that we shot with it when it was slightly darker. It's very different. So that does make it more interesting. But when I first saw it, I was like, oh no, it's a bit too green. Now the reason I got a green car is because I had an RS4 and I let you all vote which colour I should have, and the internet chose grey. But I always liked it better in the green, the RS4. So I thought, get an RS6, let's do it with the green. I also considered the red because I like the red. I also considered the Nardo grey, but obviously having had an RS4 before that in that colour, I thought no. I really, really like this car in the black, but black is predictable. Though when I showed this to my girlfriend, she was like, green cars are unlucky. I'm not going to go in that. But then Jo is someone who just always wants everything in black. She likes black clothes, black cars, but yeah. Do you prefer it in red or black?
Black.
She's a bit monochrome. I really hope she doesn't see this, otherwise if she does, I won't be getting any sex for a while. Do not let that go in. Cut that out, please, editor. Cut that out. Promise. It's not just the exterior paint where I might have made a mistake. I might have got the interior colour scheme wrong as well, because I've gone for a sort of Werther's original brown. I don't know what I was thinking. I actually saw this interior trim on a red RS6 at some motor show a year or two ago and it looked really good, and I thought it would go well with the green as well, because I always wanted when I was younger a Mark 1 MX-5 with the British Racing green exterior and the tan interior, and I've tried to emulate that with this £120,000 Audi. It is growing on me. I do like it, and I actually got some support from the lady at Audi who helped sort me this car out, and she says it's a really, really good, interesting spec. And to be fair, while my girlfriend is a little bit not so sure about it, most of the people that I've shown this car to really like the exterior and interior colour combination, and it's good to do something a little bit interesting, isn't it? Yeah, but it is quite browny. Let me know what you think of it in the comments. The RS6 starts from £96,000, but I didn't want the entry-level car, if you could ever call an RS6 entry-level. If you pay an extra £7,000, you can get the carbon black edition, which has lots of different black accents on it rather than silver. And you really do need those black accents if you're going to have the green paint. You also upgrade from the standard 21-inch alloys to 22-inch alloys. But then I decided that I want the top of the range car, and that is the 4-sprong. It costs an extra £10,000, so you're looking at a starting price for that car of 113 grand. However, it is worth that extra cash because you get some really useful bits of kit with it, and I'll talk you through all that now. Instead of the normal Audi sound system, you get a Bang & Olufsen one, which just has better sound quality. It's well worth it if you like your tunes. It also gets a heads-up display, which is really big, really clear, and really useful. I like it with the rev counter as well, and you can see it revving up. So you don't fluff a gear change when you're doing a rolling race against Yanni. One of the most important upgrades for me are the surround view cameras, because I can be a bit clumsy when it comes to parking. So the bird's eye view really helps you, but you also get all these other views as well. Look, so this is the rear tyre view. You've got a front tyre view, prevent you from curbing your alloys. There's a rear corner view, a normal rear view with those guidelines which move to show you the direction the car will move in. There's top down view from the side, that's what it's actually called. Overhead view, and then there's front view, and then front corner view. And finally, 3D, where you can just look around the car. I'm not so sure that they've managed to match the colour up to my green car though. I think they've tried, but it's definitely not that colour, not in any light. Nice dry Audi, almost. The 4-sprung model of this car also gets upgraded RS Sport suspension, so it's 4mm lower than on the normal RS6 and includes something called dynamic cornering control. And what that does is use electrically controlled adaptive dampers, and it can alter the amount of oil that is in the chambers of the dampers across axles. So it effectively props the car up when you go into a corner by pumping more oil into that specific damper on that corner of the car. And it stops it leaning so much in the bends, but it also means that you don't need such firm anti-roll bars to stop that leaning happening. So when you're just going in a straight line, it's nice and supple, nice and comfortable. And this car does handle very well. Another feature you get with 4-sprung models is soft closed doors, which is really handy if you work with camera people. You never seem to be able to shut a door properly. So even if they put it to like that, it will automatically close itself properly. The 4-sprung model also gets a panoramic glass roof, which does help let light in to the cabin so you can really appreciate your brown leather. It's not perfect though. It's not one piece of glass because you have this structural brace in the middle. And while the front part does open, which is nice, it doesn't exactly open very wide, does it? One of my favourite features on this car is the adaptive cruise control. It's called the Tour Pack and it's optional on the RS6, but you get it standard on this 4-sprung. I'm just going to engage it now, put on lane keeping assist, and it's essentially going to keep me a safe distance from the car in front using radar. So look, it's making me drop back now because it thought I was too close, and it will auto steer to keep me in lane, which is good. I shouldn't really do this, take my hands off the wheel. Don't do that at home. But it's brilliant, this is. If you're doing long distances, which I do a lot of, it's great for just cruising up and down on the motorway. Takes a strain out of it because you're not constantly having to do those little tiny corrections to keep yourself in lane because the car is doing that for you. You're not having to keep on accelerating and braking or shunting along in traffic. Simple look, no feet, dance just briefly. Oh, it's chilled. So I think all those extras are worth the cash, but what about you? If you were an RS6 buyer, £17,000 extra is quite a lot, isn't it? And if you're buying this car on finance and you're doing it over a 4-year term, it's an extra £300 a month. Would you pay that? Now you can make a bit of a saving on that if you check out Carwow. So click on the pop-out banner up there because I've configured an Audi RS6 for you there to see how much you can save through our trusted dealers. So go check that out. This particular car here is actually more expensive still because it's got £4 worth of options. There's only 2 of them. I've already mentioned the exterior paint, which was £3 extra, but it's also got full interior leather. So you get leather here, leather here, leather everywhere. It's all very leathery, which is nice. But there were some other options which I didn't go for. For instance, I could have had carbon inserts here. I'm not a big fan of carbon inside cars of this nature. I much prefer this open pore wood. It's really nice. Another option I passed on was having the brake calipers in red. That cost £520 and wouldn't really work with the green car because red and green should not be seen. I also decided not to go for the carbon ceramic brakes, although I do like carbon ceramics, it's just that they cost £9,200. If you're a horsey type of person, you might want the £825 deployable tow bar. I'm from the Midlands and we don't tend to have horse boxes, though sometimes we do pull caravans. Anyway, I ain't got one, so I don't need the tow bar. I also didn't go for the rear side airbags. They're £475 and I don't need them because I don't have kids. And the only person who's likely to travel back here is my mum. And to tell you the truth, I could do with the inheritance pretty soon to pay for all my cars. It's jokes. Stop British humour, that's all, just jokes. Don't hate me. Love you, mum. But believe it or not, those are the only options you can add to the 4-spiral model because it's just so loaded with kit. Though to be fair, even the entry-level RS6 gets loads of equipment, such as the Matrix LED headlights, which I absolutely love. They're brilliant at night. They do that thing where they blank out part of their beam so you don't dazzle oncoming drivers. And of course, being an Audi, there's a lovely little kind of wake-up sequence. Look, when you open the car. So cool. All RS6s get air suspension as standard, and it's really good at dealing with bumps, so it's surprisingly comfy. You can't really believe that this car is driving on 22-inch rims because it actually deals with bumps very, very well. You also get privacy glass as standard, so it's very quiet in here, which is lovely. Another thing the car has, which is handy when you're manoeuvring in town such as this, is rear wheel steering. That helps loads when you're trying to get into a parking space. I should be able to manoeuvre a lot more than you think I could in a car this long. Just look at the angle that I can suddenly turn. It's like I've got a forklift truck. It's that manoeuvrable. It's brilliant. Rear wheel steering or not, I'm not entirely sure whether I'm ever going to fit in this gap. I can't be arsed. I don't know if you noticed this though, look, I can go from central to full lock in one turn of the wheel. That's because this car also gets progressive steering, and effectively what that means is that when you're going really, really quickly at high speed, you turn the wheel a little light. It doesn't feel jerky or anything or very twitchy, but the more you turn the wheel, the increasing amount that it actually turns the wheels. That means that you don't have to do so much wheel twirling if you want to do those maneuvers. All RS6s also get the top of the range ventilation system. So you've got 4-zone climate control, even people in the back can choose their temperature, and there's heated seats in the back. You've got heated and cooled seats in the front, and then this feature as well, look, you've got ionization. It effectively neutralizes pollutants in the cabin, so the air in here is as lovely as a mountain breeze. Another cool feature is the perfume, which is handy, especially if I've had a lot of onions, because I can't seem to digest them properly and it makes me a bit windy. If I'm traveling in the car with someone, I just turn that on and it kind of hides the smell. Too much sharing. There is a load of other equipment you get with this car, but the list is so long, we'd be here all day. And anyway, one of the main reasons people buy an RS6 is because it just looks so damn awesome. I prefer it to the look of a BMW M5 Competition, a Mercedes E63 S Estate, even a Porsche Panamera. The only one that looks a little bit better maybe in my eyes is the AMG GT 4-door. Yeah, I love it. There's only a couple of complaints, and it's a few fake vents, obviously being an Audi, but there's not too many, just one here and one there. Oh, obviously there's this one as well on the other side. Other than that, great looking car. And being an estate car, it's super practical. I've got an electric folding bike, a Go Cycle, my girlfriend Jo has as well, and we can fit them both in the boot of this car. Look, boot space, I've got 2 Go Cycle electric bikes in there, off to the Cotswold to go riding, which is handy if you want to drive out somewhere to the countryside and go riding on those bikes. And it's great because you don't have to fold the seats down to carry them, which means that when you park up and you shut the boot, they're hidden out of sight, which is handy because they are quite expensive, so people might try to nick them. There's also tons of room in the back seats. This seat's in my usual driving position. Look, loads of knee room, headroom's great as well. Mustn't grumble. You might be thinking, Matt, how the heck can you do a video on an RS6 and wait this long to mention the engine? Sorry. So it's a 4-litre twin-turbo V8, 600 horsepower, 800 newton meters of torque. It drives all 4 wheels via an 8-speed automatic gearbox. Obviously you've got quattro all-wheel drive, and that usually sends 40% of the power to the front and 60% to the rear under normal driving conditions. But it can send up to 85% of the power to the back, or 70% to the front. At the back axle, you've also got a sport differential, which can move the power around to the wheel with the most grip to help you accelerate out of corners even better. In case you're wondering, since I've had this car, I've averaged 24 miles per gallon out of it. Though on a run, if I'm very careful, I can get 28 miles per gallon. And actually the economy is very similar to my A45 S, which isn't bad considering the engine is twice the size and more powerful, and this is a heavier car at almost 2.1 tons. Now, if you'd like to see my video about my A45S, click on the pop-out banner up there to watch it. But still, overall, the economy isn't brilliant, is it? And that brings me on to some of the things that do annoy me a bit about this RS6. Now, this may seem like a bit of a first world problem, but I'm a bit disappointed. This car does not have massage seats. Shock horror! What is going on? I've sort of got massage seats in the Mercedes A45 S. I had them in the G63. I sort of had a massage seat function in the Audi RS4, and I had them in the Volvo XC60. I'm spoiled. I'm used to them. What in this car? It's 120 grand. What's going on? I tell you what, Audi, you can have this car back. It's bloody rubbish. Actually, don't take it back. I want to keep it for the full 6 months loan term, please. I'm going to do lots of reports on it, consumer journalism stuff about what it's like to live with. Actually, I'm just going to do lots of drag races with it, but I'm sure that's all right with you, right? The design of the cup holders is quite annoying. So the little grippers hold your drink very tightly, and so you have to put quite a bit of force to remove it, and then they suddenly let go. So you end up firing the drink out of there, and then it spills all over the place. Look, can you see down here? There's some spatter marks from when Joe just did that with a can of Coke and it went everywhere, and she hasn't cleaned it up. If she sees this video, I'm going to be in so much trouble with her. Oh dear. Well, Apple CarPlay is wireless in this RS6. Android Auto is still via a cable. God damn it. Can't fault the fact that you do get full widescreen for your Android Auto, unlike my Mercedes A45 S. Though I do prefer the infotainment system on the Mercedes and the location of it. All this is a bit low down. The Mercedes has everything in a bank much higher up, which is easy to look at, and I actually think the infotainment system on the Mercedes is just that little bit better. Another thing that I think Mercedes is slightly better is the layout of some of the controls. For instance, I like the fact in Mercedes cars you have the gear selector on the column rather than down here. It's just more natural to use it when it's closer to the steering wheel. I also like the way that they have the controls for the seat up here on the door rather than down here, which you have on this Audi. And then there's the layout of the cruise control. It's much easier to just have it here on the steering wheel rather than a controller down here. And it's a bit bizarre that Audi separate the lane keeping assist button here to all the rest of the cruise control, which is on this. Now, if you want to see how they do it properly in Mercedes cars, click on the pop-out banner up there to watch my living with an AMG G63 video. And you're probably thinking, Matt, you're just being a big Mercedes fanboy. Well, that's not true. Everyone knows I'm actually a BMW fanboy. Actually, that's not true either. I'm not a fanboy of any particular brand. I like to assess cars based on their own merit. Now, the guys at Audi might be watching this going, what, we give you a blooming RS6 for 6 months to live with, and you just go on criticising it and mention all these other brands? Well, that's my job. I'm a motoring journalist, and during my time with this car, I'll be completely honest what I think about it. To make sure that you don't miss any of those videos, please subscribe to this channel, hit the bell icon to turn your notifications on. That way you will not miss a single upload. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a like. Also, comment below any kind of other videos you'd like us to do. If you want to watch some more videos, click on the windows there. And if you click on the box, you can download the CarWow app. It's completely free. You can use it to browse all our reviews and see how much money we can save you on a new car. On average, we can save £3,600. That's right. Also, it has a special number plate reader, so you can scan any car's number plate and it'll tell you how much that car is currently worth. Download it, it's completely free.